All right, y'all. Welcome to Mind Over Money. My name is Vic, and I'm going to teach you how to raise your credit. Whether you have terrible credit, whether you have no credit, or whether you have decent credit, I'm going to teach you how to raise your score and make sure you get that magical number, 750, 800, all of that. I'm going to teach you how to get all of that. So, my name is Vic. I've been working in finance for quite a few years, about 5 years in total. I spent a lot of time, like many years as a car salesman, doing the loans, doing the applications, talking to the banks, making sure we get those applications pushed through. And then I've also spent a lot of time working as a banker, which I currently am now. So I deal with credit on a regular basis, daily. I know the ins and outs. You can look online, but I'm the one running that application. So I've dealt with the bankruptcy, the garnishments. I know it. I actually know this. So this is, some real valuable knowledge, some insider scoop that, hopefully you can see my perspective. I'm not trying to glam it up. I'm just telling you based off experience and based off what, worked for me personally. So let me cut straight to the chase. Number one way to raise your credit is to get a secure loan. Now, this works for anything. Whether you have good credit, bad credit, you're going to get approved regardless. So what you do is you go to a credit union, preferably one that's local, okay? If you go to one that's local, it's going to be easier for you to develop a relationship with this bank. Because a credit union functions different than the bank, but for this example, we're gonna treat it like it's a bank, okay? Because they function very similar, but they're different, and you wanna develop your relationship with this bank, this institution. Now, the number one way to do it is first create an account. So you go to a credit union, something local, or maybe a small bank, and you ask, hey, do y'all do secure loans? And they're gonna be like, yeah. So what you do is, it's like, fuck it, make an account, right? So what you do is you're gonna need a little bit of money up front. You're gonna need about 1,000, 500 to 1,000, give or take. And you go to the union and you're like, let me get a secure loan. I'm trying to build my credit. You talk to the banker. You see, like, cool, let's make an account. So you make an account, so you have a checking account, and then you get a loan. Now, a secure loan functions. You have $1,000, okay, or 500. Let's do 500. You have $500. You give the bank $500. The bank gives you $500. So you're even. But it's a loan. So someone's gonna be paying interest, right? So the bank goes up to you and they're gonna be like, I'm actually gonna be charging 2% interest on your $1,000 or your $500, right? So if it's 2% interest of $500, an annual percentage yield, that means every year that $500 is gonna get 2% interest, right? So that's gonna be $10. $10 of interest, something like that, right? Let me do the math. Yeah, 100 times 2, yeah. $10. Simple as that. If you put 1,000 in, you're gonna pay 20. Okay? So you're paying interest, but it's gonna be low. You're not playing with too much. But the power is crazy. Because once you do it, you put the 100, you put the $500 and $10. You throw another 10 on that stack. Or if you have $1,000, you throw another 20 on that stack. Keep it in the checking account. Yeah, yo, Mr. Banker, have this loan auto deduct from this checking account. Cool. For how long? A year. Cool. I got another $510. Hey, Mr. Banker, next month, I got that. Okay, cool. That's another year. You do that, keep stacking. You have these little $500 pockets, $500 units. You're building your credit. while saving money. You are paying interest. But all these reports are going to these agencies, you know, and they're starting to build up and they're starting to get good. Now, people don't talk about this, but people don't understand the power of this strategy. So what you could do is, while other people, I'm gonna get a loan car, I got 7%. They tweaking, they jumping around, and they overprice fucking car they just spent, you know. And if this is you, my bad, bro. Okay, I still got a car payment, I'm paying that off, but I bought that when I was like 2020, right? 2019 or something like that. And then, but what's it called? My fault. But that's what you gotta do. So people getting a car loan, they getting a little 7%, they're getting a little 8%, they're paying at the wazoo. Meanwhile, it's cheaper for me to get a personal loan and come up in the dealership some cash. Let me drop that 10,000. My personal loan might only be going for 6%, while with a car loan, this is a real life example, because I just tried it out. You know, I looked at the car, got pre-approved. I was getting approved for 12%, 10%, and I was get a personal loan for 5, 6. You know, like it's major difference. You know, and here's the thing: if I don't make my car payment, they're gonna repo my car in like month 3. They're gonna try. They're gonna threaten. It's gonna mess up everything. I gotta get the more expensive insurance. I might be overspending. I'm thinking more of a monthly payment rather than how much is going up. If you walk into the bank, if you walk into the dealership and you have $20,000, $30,000 in cash, like, you're gonna see the money get piled away. This is what I have. This is my budget. There's no manipulation. I'm not signing your fucked up deal. I don't have to get your warranty. I don't have to do none of that. I'm not gonna be a slave to you dealership, you know. Actually, matter of fact, I need 5,000 off. I'm paying all cash. Cool. I just got it cheaper than all those people paying 0% APY. Like, that 0% is a scam. They're making money somehow, right? Don't be a sucker. And then another thing too is you can get a secure credit card. Now, me personally, I wish I never had a credit card. And I've seen people that don't have credit cards. But if you feel like you're wise, and by the way, let me tell you, about 90% of people, if not higher, 99% of people don't use credit wisely. So use a credit card wisely. By the way, okay? I'm in people's accounts. I'm seeing people's credit. People, at least in my area, they don't use their credit good. And I tell you that, like everywhere I go, people are in debt. So, and a lot of people are already suffocating. But if you don't have any credit, use method number 2, is get a secure credit card, right? Let's start from ground zero. You can put $300 up front. And then when you put 300, your credit limit's 300. Your default, you paid on the money up front. So what you do is get your Spotify, your Netflix, something. Maybe like keep just your subscriptions on. Don't get gas. Don't get gas now. I'm using the credit card only for gas. My ass. You, as soon as you use for gas, oh, let me get a little Hershey bar. Oh, let me get a little tall boy. Oh, Cinnabon. Whoa. I think Shotty needs some Cinnabons. And then, you know, it just be out the wazoo, and then there you go, you got a limit. Or, oh, don't worry, I don't get paid till Friday, I got some gas money, it's my credit card, I only use it for gas. Okay. So, I get a secure credit card and only have like a Netflix subscription. You know, or only have your Spotify, something like that. Only keep the subscriptions on one thing. Keep it organized. Every subscription you have goes through. Then you can pay it off at the end of the month. Or set it to pay off in full. That's a real move. Set it to pay off in full. Now let's say you already have credit card debt. And you're struggling, you're breathing at your neck. You don't have money for a secure loan. You ain't have money for a secure credit card. If it costs a nickel to shit, you have to throw up, bro. You know? Act like I wasn't there too. So, what you gotta do, I haven't gone this far, but some of my family members that are very directly related to me have filed for bankruptcy, and I have helped guide them and navigate them through times like this, because they're not responsible, and it happens to the best of us, you know. And by the way, I don't want to put any shame. If I call you, it's just some tough love. That's just how it is. And if you get mad of how the world is, that's just how. You're just a victim, bro. Don't be a victim. As simple as that, right? And you can learn from your mistakes and get out of this, man. But what you got to do is, if you're just struggling, is you just got to call a collection agency or call a debt relief, more debt relief. You know, call them, negotiate, call debt relief, try to get something, man. You could file for bankruptcy, but it's really gonna be tough, you know, to get a loan again. But sometimes I don't recommend filing for bankruptcy, but it's gonna be tough. You know, you don't need good credit to get, you know, it for many things. And it may seem like it's hopeless, but that's just what you can do. Save up the little money you can, you know, pay off everything you can, do some research, let some things run in the collection. I'm talking about if you're deep in the trenches, you know, be strategic, you know, talk to someone that has their money right. Go to a credit specialist. Call the debt relief, and make sure you do your research before you call anyone. Anyone will give you another loan. And if you get to this point, right, because I'm talking about you 400 boys, 300 ladies, 200. You need a letter, you know, from the judge just to get a loan if you file for bankruptcy. You know, so I'm talking to y'all because I deal with y'all too. And this is for y'all as well. You got to call them. You got to consolidate. And you got to speak to either a lawyer or someone, a tax advisor, a lawyer, no, not a tax advisor, a lawyer or a debt, you know, anyone debt related, debt, credit fixer, credit guru, you know, someone that actually works deep in there. And you're going to have to probably let some things go to collection, not pay them debts off, consolidate as much as you can, and last resort, you file for bankruptcy. You know, file for bankruptcy isn't pretty, it's not fun. You know, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's humiliating to a degree. I mean, only if you tell people. I mean, you ain't got to tell everyone you file for bankruptcy. Like, just keep that to yourself. You know? I mean, you ain't got to tell, bro. You can fake that. You know, you can just keep it pushing, learn, reset. But sometimes it's worth filing for bankruptcy. But I would strongly recommend you at least speak to some of those people. Now, in terms of who to reference, I don't want to reference nobody. I'm just trying to get you on game. I want y'all to do your own research. You know, there's different people, local people. I don't want to send y'all to no links or no shit. Like, you know, like, I'm just keeping it real with you. And that's what I recommend. So whether you have no credit, whether you have bad credit, this is how you raise your score. And thank you for watching. This is Mind Over Money. I'm trying to do this daily. This is actually my first video, matter of fact. I expect to get about, let's see if I can put a view count for y'all, right? Let me see if I can get a whole 100 viewers. First video, come out banging. 100 viewers now. Like, subscribe, okay? I'm actually full sending this, y'all. So y'all better tune in. Y'all better get right. My day ones right here, chilling. I ain't even gonna tell none of my friends about this channel. I ain't gonna tell no one, okay? This is just gonna be some game between me and you. You know, no one's gonna know about this between us, so. Unless shit get bumping, it's gonna be a crazy ride, but alright, y'all take it easy, bro. Build your credit, stay blessed, you know, make sure you ain't a slave, you know, because you're always gonna be a slave to the lender. remember that you're gonna be a slave to the lender. So be careful, be on your 10 toes. Don't get burnt. Once you burn some toast, you can't unburn that shit. So, peace.